Hollywood is like such a big proponent for pushing degeneracy across the entire planet. And you know what's crazy? If you look at the mall in LA, it's all of these Babylonian deities on the mall. Hollywood just released a new movie as well called Babylon. Isn't it interesting how the book of Revelation talks about how Babylon made the whole world drink the wine of her fornication? What if that prophecy in the book of Revelation was specifically about Hollywood? Hollywood literally has embraced themselves as the new Babylon. There's even a video where a guy's holding up an Oscar. He literally says, "Kneel before your God, Babylon."
What?
I truly believe that Hollywood is the Babylon reference in the book of Revelation that made the whole world drink the wine of her fornication.
It makes sense, because in order to make the whole world drink it, there has to be some type of influence that could reach the whole world.
Babylon in previous history,
Man,
Babylon
give
was
this man
big, but it
some
wasn't
credit.
making the
He's
whole world
speaking
fall into
facts.
In order to do that, there has to be some type of realm that you access that can reach the world, which is the digital.
With Hollywood, it's influenced so many entertainment industries outside of America, like in Korea, South America, even in India. A lot of the corruption that you're seeing in society, pushing women to be
Especially-
super masculine, pushing men to be super feminine. The Hollywood culture is permeating other countries that usually wouldn't tolerate that through entertainment. One of the reasons why God is judging Hollywood right now, God has had enough of Babylon making everybody drink the wine of her fornication.
Give this man some credit, you guys, because he was speaking knowledge right there. But ayo, that's exactly why they call it Hollyweird. I'd advise to stay far away. Real quick, if you're new to this channel and you like this content, make sure you do your boy a favor and just smash that like button for me. Might as well just go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you're at it. I'm still new to this YouTube game, trying to figure it all out. It's like a mystery puzzle. But if you're down for watching some of these wild TikToks with me, hope you sit back and just enjoy this video.
He woke up at 6 a.m. when he heard the death rattle. A man by the name Mark was sitting next to his dad Joe during his final moments of life.
This is a video of the last few minutes of Dad's life. Mom had been with him throughout the night and heard the death rattle, but she went on to bed, and suddenly I woke up at 6 o'clock, talked to Mom and said, "I think it's the very end." I sat down with him and held his hand, and you can hear the death rattle.
As Mark begins to sing to his dad Amazing Grace to help him pass on, this happens. What looks like a speck of light can be seen leaving his body moments after his last breath. It can later be seen next to his son Mark as it flies up and vanishes. Mark believes this was the spirit of his father Joe crossing over.
This is the first time I ever heard of the word death rattle. I'm surprised I haven't heard it till now. Hey, let me know down in the comments if you guys have ever heard of the word death rattle.
If you still use one of these things, you might want to take caution. In the mid-80s, 17-year-old Jason Finley was found deceased in his bedroom with zero evidence as to what happened. Jason was in good health, and there was no evidence in his room that would suggest there was any kind of foul play that night. It wasn't until an autopsy revealed blood in Jason's inner ear, which points to an electrical surge of some kind. And that's when the pieces of this puzzle finally started to come
Got that
together.
black and white shirt looking
Jason
like
happened
Beetlejuice
to
over
be
here.
on the phone while there was a bad thunderstorm
Johnny
that
Depp.
night. And all it took was for his house to be struck by lightning and that electricity to travel through his telephone wires.
Oh, what?
The girl that Jason was on the phone with also admitted to hearing a weird clicking noise, a gasp from Jason, and then silence, which that kind of makes sense. When I was a teenager, I remember thinking that this was a complete myth, but it's not. It actually has happened and claimed several lives. But thankfully, that risk has greatly reduced due to less and less people using these kinds of phones.
Yeah, I don't know
Unless
anybody
you're a
that
cell
uses a
phone
home
user
phone
that
anymore.
decides to use your phone while it's charging during a power surge.
The odds of this happening, I feel like, are so low. I mean, I wouldn't say impossible, but I just feel like they're so low, they're right next to impossible. You know what I mean?
Why is Mark Zuckerberg getting ready for the end of the world? Bro's building an underground bunker worth over $100 million. He took the movie Leave the World Behind seriously. This underground bunker is being built on the island of Hawaii, and it's absolutely insane. Mark Zuckerberg's
Why
bunker has a
Hawaii?
concrete metal door, built of the same material that's used in bomb shelters. It also comes with a collection of tree houses. There's 11 of them connected by rope bridges
What's
and
going
heavy
on
security.
here?
But if you thought that was wild, things get more insane. Mark Zuckerberg's compound has 12 buildings and land for farming. And after that is a tunnel that leads you to a 5,000 square foot underground bunker. Inside this bunker is a 18-foot water tank and enough food to survive on. I don't know about you, but when Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Meta, formerly known as Facebook, starts making plans for the end of the world, it makes me take
What
this
does he
movie here
know
a
that
little
we
more
don't?
serious. I just can't think of any other reason why you would need a bunker, unless you know of some type of disaster that's coming. But what do you guys think about this situation? Do you guys think you might need a bunker too, or is everyone overreacting?
Yeah,
Let me
right.
know your honest thoughts about this.
I
in the
can
comments
hardly
below.
afford
If you enjoyed
anything
this
talking
video,
about a
make sure to
bunker.
like,
Come
share,
on.
and follow for more info.
Who knows? Maybe all the other rich elite people have bunkers already too. It just don't get announced like this guy Mark over here. But what does he know that we don't? Really makes you wonder, you know?
There's a conspiracy theory about your feet. Supposedly this is what our feet
Ew.
are supposed to look like if we stayed connected to Earth. And this is what they look like now that we wear shoes, right? Some people believe that shoes
I'm
are
glad.
actually damaging our feet, making them more narrower and pushing our toes more together. They believe that this messes
I
up
don't
our
know about
electrical
that.
receptors that connect us to the Earth. And that society and our government have been forcing us to wear shoes everywhere, you know, no shoes, no service, to
They're not
disconnect us
forcing
from
us,
planet
not
Earth,
necessarily.
putting rubber between our feet and the ground. Supposedly this is keeping us sick and stops us from receiving the benefits of Mother Earth. And apparently they call it the heel of your foot because once it touches land, it heals you and stops inflammation. And there are some studies that actually support this. There's this thing called grounding, and some believe these are the benefits to our bodies from grounding. Is it weird that we run in a society that makes us wear shoes that cover up our feet to protect them? Or are people just reaching and shoes are actually protective? What do you think? One big conspiracy? Or do you think there's some truth to it? Are we humans really that connected to planet Earth? And make sure to hit that button because my next story will blow your mind.
You walk out on that beach in the middle of summertime and that sand hits your feet, you're going to be wishing you had some shoes, that's for sure. I mean, I feel like everything he said is true. There's definitely something to be said for grounding and health benefits and stuff like that. And I've heard countless stories of people grounding their bed at night and getting some of the best sleep they've ever got, so. Good, get out of here with that finger. Oh, what in the world? So a man had no pants on over here trying to hitchhike for a ride. If any of you guys have ever watched the Trailer Park Boys, let me know down in them comments if this old man doesn't look like Mr. Leahy.
This is the scary story about the lunch lady. There was a lunch lady named Judy, and everybody in the school loved her. But they loved her food even more. Every single day they would all run to the lunchroom just to eat her delicious food. But one day, a young boy in 7th grade noticed something extremely strange. In the back of the kitchen, he saw a mysterious door he never seen before. And he's been buying lunch every single day for a year straight. He then went to the principal's office and told him what he saw. The principal then made his way down to the lunchroom and asked Judy about the door. She played dumb for a couple minutes, but eventually ended up showing him. And what he saw inside made him freeze in complete horror. Inside were multiple children's
What
dead
the
bodies,
hell is that,
completely
bro?
cut up and strung up on the wall like animals. Judy then looked at the principal with a smile on her face and said, "How do you think my food tastes so good?" This is the reason why. Judy was then arrested and fired. Judy is now serving 105 years in prison. But the crazy part is, how did this school allow a lunch lady to kill all these students and then sell their meat as lunch food?
This would have been all over the news if it was a true story. The picture actually did scare me a little though, I can't even lie. But do you guys remember them nasty ass square pizzas they used to have back in school? I'll never forget them things.
These are the signs of a bad spirit in your house. If you and your partner argue all the time about small stuff, there's a spirit of confusion in your house. It
All
is
right,
gonna
let's
break
hear
your
it. Come
house apart. Anything that's good in your house, it gonna make sure it's
I'm ready
bad.
for it. Lay it
Every
on
little
us.
thing they do, you think they cheat. Every little thing you do, they think you cheating on them. You can be going to the store. If you take too long to come back, they mad. You can be on the phone texting somebody. They think you cheat. Pay attention to that. Number 2, all of a sudden, you start feeling sad. When you in the house and it's real quiet, if the TV ain't on, ain't no music on or nothing, crazy thoughts will start coming into your mind. Like failure, sadness. You start thinking about your past for no reason. You start to miss stuff that you left in the past, like old exes. You start feeling like your partner ain't giving you enough. You start feeling like I could have had better then. Be careful of thinking like that. There's a spirit right behind it. Number 3,
I don't know about
your
all
kids
that.
start doing crazy stuff. Your kids just get on your nerve for no reason. Like they'll break something, run
Man,
around,
this is just
won't sit
normal
down.
life.
Whatever demonic spirit is in the house, it's making them kids do stuff to get on your nerve. It's always something they gonna do.
Come on, man. It's just a
that
kid
you ain't
being a
gonna
kid.
Like kids messing up their room consistently, running through the house, hitting the walls and stuff, screaming real loud.
All this
Anything
stuff
that
is
irritates
normal,
your spirit is
bro.
gonna happen. But don't get mad. This is real, man.
He said, "This is real, man." I thought this guy was about to lay some real knowledge on us, and then he goes and hits us with this bull hockey. I wish the caption read, "Signs this TikToker might waste your time." But yeah, I don't know if I'd go with his theory too much, or else you might think there's a demon in your house every time your kid spills some milk, or does like a backflip 360 off the top of the couch.
A mother pushed her child on a swing for over 40 hours until he died. This is the tragic story of Ramisha Sims and her poor little son, Jayeli. It was May of 2015 when Ramisha would take her little boy, her little 3-year-old son, to the park as they would normally go. This time something was different. Ramisha had been off her schizophrenia medication for a few days now.
No.
And when she took her son to the park, no one knew that she was in the middle of a psychotic break, so she put her child inside the swing and started pushing him. More and more hours passed
For
by.
40 hours,
and poor little
though?
Jair was just in the swing, helpless. He couldn't get out, and his mum was almost in some sort of daze. She was in such a psychotic state, and she ended up being there throughout the entire night and the next day for 44 hours, until finally poor little Jair passed away. He passed away in the swing due to hypothermia and dehydration. She stood in the same spot
That's
for all
sad,
those
y'all.
hours pushing him.
That
Like,
poor
you can
little
imagine how
boy.
frightened he was and how uncomfortable and cold, how much pain and discomfort he was in. And it's
This
just
breaks my
one of
heart.
the most tragic stories I've ever heard. So obviously help eventually came. There was a few people that say that they did in fact see her, but they just thought that she was going or coming back. So eventually when it was reported and the news broke to the family, everyone was devastated, as you can imagine, especially Jair's father, as he had even requested full custody of him not long before this incident, because he knew that the mother's mental state wasn't good enough to look after him. But
Damn.
while all that was being sorted out, Ramisha decided to stop taking her schizophrenia medication that she had been taking for all this while, and these were the harmful consequences to her actions that day. It went to court, obviously, and she was found not guilty because she was in the middle of psychosis, but she now has to attend counselling and therapy and get psychiatric help every week. So that's a tragic case.
I'm sure even when the doctors helped her and she got the medication that she needed, when she finally came back to the reality that her boy was gone and never coming back, I'm sure her whole world was shattered after that. Man, this one was just sad, yo. It just tore me up a little bit.
We're developing, through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's, where are they traveling?
They're tracking
How are they
everything.
traveling? What are they eating? What
Which
are they
I'm sure they're
consuming on the
probably already
platform?
doing, but
So, individual carbon footprint tracker.
Violence. I think that
What the-
you know, it's more or less because
it's from that movie, The Interview.
Individual carbon footprint tracker.
What the fuck just happened?
The interview's over. Shut it off. No, shut it off.
Get the fuck
That
out
was
of
a
here.
funny
I am
movie.
Marshall's publicist, and I'm telling you to pull a fucking plug right now.
This is gold. I am not cutting this interview off. This is the best interview we've ever done.
Oh, wow. We're going to change the world with this one. Why can't they just let us be? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather not be tracked everywhere I go, and I'm sure everybody else out there rather not be tracked as well. The people that sit up here coming up with this crazy nonsense at the World Economic Forum, we don't need all that. The privacy is what we're all begging for.
Ever see a picture that just gives you, like, full body chills? This photo was captured in 2007, and it seems like kind of a harmless picture, right? There's nothing that's very out of the ordinary. It's taken outside of an apartment window by a woman named Maria Leontinka in Czech Republic. A man was just outside of the apartment. He was screaming, he was shouting, and this woman took the picture because she was going to report it to the property manager, having no idea that something very dark just occurred in that building. Inside that apartment building in 209 was a family of 4, all of which had been decapitated, and it's believed that man who was captured was responsible. Police are then able to connect the dots of another picture that was taken across town on the same exact day. It's believed to have been the same man, that he approached this group of teenagers and he was bragging about what he had just done, and they weren't sure if he was for real, if he was kidding, psychotic, so they took a picture of his face before he eventually ran. And this was the best shot they got. They even sketched the man, but they never found him, and his motive remained unknown.
Yeah, whoever drew that sketch needs to be fired. I was sitting here thinking this one isn't even that creepy, but then all of a sudden that sketch popped up and I'm like, oh shit, what is I wrong?
You know what degree tilt we're on in the globe Earth model? 23.4 degrees, okay? So taken from a 90-degree angle, that's 66.6. Does that number sound familiar? Yeah. Okay, now watch this. The circumference of the Earth in nautical miles is 21,600. That's 6 times 6 times 600. The curvature rate of the Earth, according to them, is 8 inches per mile squared. That's 0.666 feet per mile squared. We're supposedly going around the sun 66,600 miles per hour. The diameter of the moon is 6 times 6 times 60, 2,160. Do you think that all those 666s are a coincidence, or maybe is this a trick from the enemy that lied about creation and tried to make the scriptures look like they're not true?
Man, nothing's a coincidence these days.
The Creator coincidentally made every metric of the Earth be the devil's number. That's what would have to have happened, because that's what they told us it is. 666 everywhere. I just told you the specific metrics.
Yeah, I remember hearing this like a couple years back. This man's out here speaking the knowledge out on the sidewalk. But hey, he has a point. I mean, if you do the research right there on like Google, you can see that all the numbers do match up to what he's saying, and it's pretty odd. You can't listen to everything they taught us in school. I learned a long time ago that everything they were teaching us in school, the majority of it is all just a bunch of crap.
What I am about to show you is one of the most scariest, and it freaked me out. It honestly really did. When you see this, seeing a child, much less a baby, do what I'm about to show you.
Happens.
Don't tell me this kid falls out. Oh, he's standing up. Okay, what is going on now? Hard to believe nobody in the house heard this kid screaming. Where was this kid's mother? But yeah, it looks like a paranormal entity was holding this kid up, or he's got the most amazing balance I've ever seen for like a 3-year-old.
As soon as I pop out to shoot, it all goes black.
Damn, that was like the loudest snap I ever heard in my life.
I remember this, this like profound exhale that came out of me, and I ended up on the ground. And that's when I had this out-of-body experience.
You got shot in the head. Man.
At the time, I had no idea what happened. I thought I was dead. I could see.
That's a true
if you ever play a game,
right
if you ever
there.
seen a game where there's like a glitch where you can kind of see like a top-down view. I saw this top-down view of what was going on. I could see the fighters across the street. I could see my body. I could see my point man still shooting. I could see my other teammates on the ground. Like, what the fuck's going on? I just saw
had a fucking out-of-body experience in the middle of combat?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I'm sure that was something.
And what happened was I see this fucking light. I see all these things going on. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking dead. And I just get sucked back into this life. And then I snap, and I'm in this fetal position. My body went to this fetal position. And I start to move. And I didn't know if I was convulsing or if it was from my friend kicking me. He's kicking me with his foot. He's in the prone position. Just, hey, wake up. They're like, dude, we thought you were dead. We didn't see any blood. I'm like, what happened? I'm like crying and laughing at the same time. I have no idea what's going on. I got shot right in the helmet. And I didn't know this. And I'm completely out of it. Well, my body
got shot in the helmet.
was down fell at the radio, near the radio. They're like, get on the radio and call in support.
If you think you're dead and there's that big white light, go the other way, you guys. Because supposedly if you go towards the white light, boom, it like wipes your memory and all of a sudden you're reincarnated. That's why I feel like they say in movies like, don't go towards the white light. But hey, I could be wrong.
John Lovell sums up perfectly why so many of us have chosen to homeschool. Listen to this.
Vodi Bachman said, don't be surprised when you send your kids off to Caesar and they come back as Romans. Like, no, that's it. That's it, man. You're wondering why everyone's gone woke and has no idea what bathroom to use anymore. Just, if like, what happened to our kids? I'm like, well, you gave them to the government for their entire childhood. You saw them at dinner and you attended their sporting events, but the government raised your kids. And social media helped. And video games or whatever, but you saw them every day, but you didn't raise them. You didn't log enough hours each day.
I feel like my parents
to
definitely
counteract all the
I get what he's
poison
saying,
and
but-
time wasting and ideological propagandistic crap that they were getting fed year after year after year. And so millennial generation and now Gen Z has gone woke. And we feel like, oh, what happened to my daughter? We raised him better than that. No.
No,
I mean
it's
this
really
in love,
just technology
but
has advanced
you
so
didn't
much.
raise him at all. That hurts to say because I know it hurts people to hear, but the government raised him, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I don't know if this guy knows it, but the price of daycare these days is ridiculous. It's almost nearly impossible to not have your kid in school. I mean, we still have to work to pay the bills and put the roof over our head. So who's going to be here at home to watch our kids if we don't have anybody, per se? We're going to sit here and have the babysitter raise our kids at that point?
Some creepy shit just happened and I tried to explain it on my secret account, but I didn't explain it really well. So I'm going to talk about it on here. Mind you, I didn't even think this was creepy until somebody else said it was, and then I started to realize and I was like, oh shit. So I was on my way home from work, right? And I stopped at karaoke night to say hi to a few friends. And I left early because I was supposed to get home early to help my mom get my stepdad up the stairs because he just got out of the hospital. Anyway, so I left karaoke night, I said goodbye to my friends, whatever, and I like started walking and there was this cat. This cat walked right by me, looked exactly like my kitten. And like I thought the cat got out when my mom was helping my stepdad down the stairs to bring him to the hospital earlier. So I started following him. I was like, Mr. Kitten! And like I followed this cat for a really long time, like down different streets. Like I did not want to lose this cat. Like I was following this cat for like 20 fucking minutes before this cat turned onto my street and started running. So like for whatever reason I started recording because like he was like getting out of eye shot. Like I wanted to see if I could like zoom in to like see him.
Oh my god, she actually took
And
a
then like
video.
we went further down the street. We were on my street now. And like the cat turned and ran up my staircase. So like I started running to like follow him. Like at that point I was like, yes, this is definitely my cat. Like he knows where he lives, you know? And I got there and the fucking cat was gone.
Where'd the kitty go?
Like there's a lot of snow by my stairs, but like I heard the cat under the stairs, right? And so like I trudged through the snow to like look under. There was no cat. Like the cat was not fucking there. He just disappeared. And then I realized the porch
Where
lights
did
were
that
on and I was
cat
like,
go?
oh shit, my parents got
Probably
home
just
before
ran
I
away
did.
when
'Cause
you're
I
not
had
looking.
spent so long following this cat, like I completely lost track of time. Like I forgot like I was supposed to like help my mom bring my stepdad upstairs. And I was supposed to be the one to turn the porch lights on when I got home first. And so like the lights were already on and I was like, oh shit. Like I was freaking out, like I lost the cat, like I didn't know where the cat went. It's like I got inside, like I was ready to cry. And like I walk in, all the lights are already on, like my parents are home, and both of my cats are just sitting in the hallway. And like I was talking to my parents about it. I was like, I'm sorry I got home so late. Like I was following this cat, like I thought it was Mr. Kitten, you know? And they told me they were glad I followed the cat, but like the cats had never left the house. They're both indoor cats. Like Mr. Kitten is a runner. So like I was right to think that like that was
Maybe
Mr.
her
Kitten, but like
parents
he
were
was there the
playing
whole
a prank
time.
on her
But the
or
cats did
something.
not step foot outside the house. So whose fucking cat was that? And why did it take me down like all these different streets? And how did it know exactly where I fucking lived? And why did it disappear at
Probably
the
could
fucking
smell your
staircase?
scent
And for
coming from
anyone
the
wondering
door.
what happened to my stepdad, he fell earlier today and like, so he's on crutches now and like he had to wear a
What?
neck brace for a little bit, but he's okay.
Damn.
But what the f?
Who knows, you guys? Maybe it was her kitten astral projecting and trying to warn her about something. Or maybe it was just another cat in the neighborhood that so happened to look just like her kitten. I highly doubt there was some ghost kitten that was just following this woman around. that is a wrap for this video, my good people. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you did, make sure you go ahead and just drop a like down there. And if you haven't already, why not just go ahead and hit that subscribe button? I mean, if you like this content and you want to see more of this content, you know, why not? All right, y'all, this has been a good one, but I'll see you guys next time.